Hello there, Janette Yee, C-section athletic therapist. And today we're going to do a 5-minute routine for you if you are 1 year or many years after your C-section, your cesarean birth. What you're going to need are a couple of things. You're going to need your cup and your lotion. You're also going to need something like a 3-pound weight or less. And I also have my 15-pound weight, and that 15-pound weight is for a bridge, a weighted bridge. Of course, you can also do all of these exercises with no weights at all, okay? Just wanted to give you some weight options because it's kind of nice to be lifting weights again. All right, so when you are cupping, you're going to do this lying down on your back with your knees either bent or straight, depending on what works best for your body. For the purposes of this demonstration, though, I'm going to do this kneeling so you can see exactly what needs to be done. So take your lotion, please, and you are going to make sure you're covering your entire surgical area. Surgical area is pubic bone, hip to hip, up to your belly button or your navel. Then you're going to take your cup, squeeze it. We are going to divide your surgical area into 3 columns. I'm going to start on the right-hand side. You're going to push it in as you release. Okay, we're going to go up and down in this column. Now, if you're doing cupping for the first time, you want to be super cautious and actually do this way above your navel first. Don't do this in your surgical area. Okay, but I will instruct this as if you have already done cupping before. All right, so if you see what I'm doing, I'm pinning and then pulling, pinning and then pulling. My friend, if it's easier, and it usually is, take your pants right off. Get your pants at least down past your hips, past your pubic bone anyways. So the entire area that you're cupping is going to be revealed. So I'm doing 10 up and downs in this first column. I am going to unsuction, and then I'm going to do 10 up and downs in that middle column. It's okay to feel a 4 out of 10 on that pain scale. Oh, look at that. That came a little bit unsuctioned. I'm going to have to suction it again. It's totally okay. You want to feel a little bit of discomfort. But what's most important when it comes to cupping is the amount of resistance that you feel. Please focus on the area of your greatest resistance. Pain doesn't always tell us where we need to be cupping, but where it's hardest to actually do the pulling, that tells us where you need to be cupping on your body. Okay, so do 10 up and downs. And by the way, please cover at the maximum 2 times the size of your cup. So for me, that's that amount. You may be using a smaller cup or a bigger cup, and then you're going to have to divide up your surgical area accordingly. All right, let's finish up on that 3rd column. That pin and pull technique, by the way, is something I use in my clinical practice. It's very helpful, especially if you have a body that has more skin and more fat and loose muscles. It's really helpful to get a little bit of that tissue a little bit more taut before you go and cup and pull in the opposite direction. All right, but every body is different. Okay, the point is you want to keep that suction on the whole time. All right, so after you're done, please uncouple, not by pulling off your cup, but by breaking that seal. Okay, now don't forget, your massage, in this case, your cupping, which is a fascial technique, your massage is always going to be a lot more effective if you follow it immediately with a movement. Okay, in this case, we're going to pick 2 movements. Okay, and we're going to start with the lighter weight or no weight at all, and we're going to do a dead bug. Now, the dead bug, there are so many different variations, but this is the one that we're going to choose today. Let's do this. Make sure, please, if you have a history of shoulder dislocation, you got shoulder pain right now, please don't put any weights in your hand. Just do it with no weights. All right, so the weight is in my right arm, my right hand. I'm going to press my left knee into my left hand. Make sure your ABCs are checked off. A for alignment of your spine, okay? No big fat arch, please. Keep that a neutral spine. B is breathing. You want breathing into your lower ribs. And C is your core. So you're zipped up, especially focus on that lower transverse. And when that is on, your pelvic floor should automatically come on as well. All right, here we go. ABCs are on. And then you're going to float your other leg up. You're already zipped up. If you have a diastasis like me, I'm 8 years postpartum and I still have a gap at inter-recti distance, and that's fine. All that means is I need you to follow the following breathing pattern. You're going to exhale as you straighten your arm and your leg, any amount, and you're going to inhale as you come back. Let's do 5 of these. You're going to be pressing that left knee into your left hand to ensure that your core is on and that your alignment is securely in this shape. Whew, I'm shaking. I'm shaking because I'm pushing that knee so hard into my hand. And by the way, this is a core exercise, so please make sure you feel it in your abdomen. Ideally, you want to feel this into your lower abs, not just your upper abs. But it's very common after cesarean to feel this into your lower abs. Into your upper abs, because the lower abs, they're weaker. They've been cut open, right? But after that fascial massage, that cupping, the connection with that body part with your brain, it's improved temporarily, but it's improved. And this is what's going to make it a little bit more permanent. All right, switching hands and legs, please. So pushing that right knee into the right hand. Notice I said knee into the hand and not hand into the knee. That really helps turn on the core. You feel that? Okay, now float your other leg up. We're going to do 5 reps. It's not wrong, by the way, to inhale, bringing your limbs straight, and exhaling, because that's typically what you might do in the gym. But again, if you have a diastasis, like me, you're going to exhale as you straighten your limbs, and then you're going to inhale as you come back. Up to 5 repetitions, please. Go on your own pace, but generally you are straightening your limbs over 4 counts and you're bringing your limbs back together over 4 counts. Where should you not feel this? This is not a lower back exercise, my friends. If you do feel it in your lower back, maybe your alignment, the A of the ABCs, is a little bit too challenged. So either mush your back a little flatter because it might be arching too much, or maybe your limbs are going a little too low and you just need to like straighten them out to here instead, okay? Or maybe you don't need a weight at all and it's just fine without the weight. Okay, 5 and 5. Now, let's go ahead and grab your other weight now. This is for bridging. If you've done bridges before, please use a weight. If you're just getting started into bridging, please do this without a weight. I like putting the weight on my hips, okay? In the crease of my hips. Big belly breath in. And then when you exhale, zip up. Inhale into your lower ribs. And then you're going to exhale and push your hips right up. Now, I'm going to do this as an isometric hold for up to 10 athletic breaths. But if you want to, do 10 repetitions here of hip dips or hip bridges. Okay, I'm holding it up here just so I can instruct and walk you through exactly the checklist that you want. Okay, you want to ensure that you're resting on your shoulder blades and not your neck. Super important for your blades to be nice and strong and holding your body still. And in that sense too, that means your arms are strong. They're not just kind of flopped out or like just kind of holding your weight by your belly. They're strong. Your elbows are squeezed next to you. You're nice and long through your body. And this is a glute exercise. Your gluteus maximus should be feeling this, not your lower back. So if your glutes aren't really feeling this like a 7 out of 10 for intensity, please take a look at where your legs are. Maybe you got to walk them out a bit. Maybe you got to walk them back a bit. Okay. The next trick is maybe you got to push through your whole foot and not just your heel or your toes or your balls of your foot. Okay, and the other thing is maybe your back is too arched. Let me move my hand out of the way. Maybe your back is too arched and you just need to tuck your tailbone or do that posterior pelvic tilt the slightest bit. And then, ooh, that's what I was doing. And now I can feel my gluteus maximus a lot more. Okay, I don't know about you, but I'm starting to fall down here. I'm starting to drop. So, oof, can you keep your hips up over those 10 athletic breaths, right? 10 breaths into your diaphragm or to your lower ribs, okay? And this is a 7 out of 10 work for me now, friends. Please come back down. You're going to curl, curl, curl. And the last thing that touches the floor is your tailbone. All right, that was 5 minutes easily. Of course, if you've got more time, do 2 sets of these exercises. Do 3 sets, and suddenly you've got your mini workout.